Hello, good afternoon. This is David Soto talking to you. And today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of June 22nd through June 26, 2020. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to look at all the major Forex currency pairs on a 30-minute time frame. So this way we can look at, examine what has happened this past week, okay? And then I'm going to compare that time frame to a larger time frame, such as the 4-hour daily and weekly, just to give you my idea, my analysis of what I think is going to happen this coming week. Okay, very, very simple, right? So to begin with, let's look right here on EURUSD. Okay, we see that the price did go up a little bit, but actually dropped, and the price ended lower than where it began. So pretty much had a steady downtrend all week. Okay, now it looks like it hit a pretty solid support right here. Okay, we have an up arrow currently on the 30-minute. And the price went up a little bit, but it's really not going up. It's just staying here at rock bottom. Okay. So now the bigger question is it going to keep dropping? Okay. Or is it going to go up all next week? Now, if we look at the 4-hour chart, let's look at the 4-hour. The 4-hour shows to go down. Okay. The daily shows to go up. Okay. Weekly shows to go up as well. So we can say that long term, yes, this is definitely going to be going up, okay? And in the short term, probably this coming week, we will probably see this drop. Although the price has been dropping quite a bit. On the smaller time frames, the 1-hour and 30-minute, they show to go up. So what I think is going to happen this week, okay, with the 4-hour still showing to drop and the 1-hour showing to go up, we will see the price go up a little bit, but it's probably going to drop even further. Okay, so I would definitely keep an eye on that 4-hour chart. Okay, and I would not buy right now. Okay, not until at least we have a blue arrow on the 4-hour chart. Then we want to get into a trade. Okay, if you look here on the 1-hour chart, and we see that we have a high point here and a high point here. Okay, that marks our resistance coming down. Okay, I hope that's clear, that you can see this. And what we're looking for is for this trend line to break on the 1-hour chart by at least 3 candles. If you go to the 4-hour chart, I would wait for at least 2 candles, okay, to break above before I actually buy. All right, so that's very, very important. So if this price comes up and touches this trend line and comes back down, you could sell. But I would definitely not look to sell this week because it's already been dropping so much. There's a strong probability that it will be going back up. Okay, more than likely, it's probably going to go in a sideways fashion. Okay, it's going to be in a flat ranging market. Okay, so if you want, you could put it on a 15-minute time frame and you probably could buy and sell. But like I said, wait until you have a blue arrow on the 4-hour chart, or wait until this trend line breaks and then buy. Okay, if anything, I would buy only. I would not sell. Okay, but I would definitely wait for that trend line to break. So that is my analysis for EURUSD. Okay, moving on to GPBUSD, we see pretty much the exact same thing. Okay, just basically a repeat of what you just saw. Price went up, dropped back down. It's hit a pretty solid support. Okay, see the price keeps hitting the same level. All right, it's not going up yet, but it's at a pretty solid support. Okay, it's not dropping either. Now, if you go to the 4-hour chart, look at this. Boom, it still shows the drop. All right, and we go to the daily shows to go up, and the weekly shows to go up as well. So long term, we know in the next few weeks, the next few months, it's going to be going up, but in the short term, it's probably going to keep dropping. Okay, considering that it has dropped so much, it's not going to drop a whole lot more. Okay, so I would not sell right now. You kind of missed the opportunity to sell. If you would have sold last week and sold all last week, you would be in the money right now. Okay, Now the market's getting ready to reverse. Okay, we're looking at probably Tuesday or Wednesday for this to reverse. Generally speaking, Wednesdays are excellent days for reversals in the market. Okay, it's just how it works. But if you look here on the 1 hour chart, all you have to do is draw a trend line. You have a high point here, and you have some high points here that match up perfect to make your resistance. Okay, this marks your resistance on the trend line, and all we got to do is you keep it on the 1 hour chart, wait for about 3 candles to break above, and then buy. Okay, that is very, very, very simple. Okay, I would look to buy, but not until that trend line breaks. Okay, moving on to Australian dollar versus the US dollar, AUDUSD. Kind of see the same thing, but the price had gone up and back down, but the price pretty much ended exactly where it began. Okay, so more or less we're in a flat range of market here, and question right now is the price going to be going back up? We do see that we hit a pretty solid support right here, right? So a very, very similar fashion, but not exactly the same. Okay, the 4 hour chart again shows to go down. So more than likely we're going to see a drop in the beginning of the week, and daily shows to go down, which is different from what we just saw previously. Okay, the daily has a strong sell, and we know the Australian dollar has been going up for a long time. Okay, it's been really strong the past couple of months. All right, so but anything that goes up must eventually come back down, and right now we hit a pretty solid resistance because we hit the same area before and it had a long downtrend. Now we're going back up to the same area, and we're more than likely going to have another long downtrend. I don't know. Okay, I'm not a psychic, don't quote me on that. The Australian dollar has been very strong. Okay, the weekly chart still shows to go up. Okay, so keep that in mind. So I do not think that this will be a long downtrend. We should see this probably drop in the next week or so, next 2 weeks. We should see a steady drop. 4 hour chart shows to go down. The daily chart shows to go down. So I think this will be dropping. Okay, I do not think this will be going up. Okay, although I could be wrong. We don't know. What we can do, okay, on the 1 hour chart has an up arrow. Okay, like I said, more than likely it's going to keep dropping. Okay, you might see this blue arrow repaint at a lower place. We see a support down here on the 1 hour chart, so that's like a pretty solid support right there. You might see the price drop down there. We don't know. What we can do is we see a high point here, we see a high point here, and we see a high point here. Okay, and we can mark. Okay, now this one here, if we mark that, this doesn't quite touch, but that's okay. We have a high point here and a high point there. This will mark our resistance coming down. Okay, I hope that's clear. What we're looking to do is to buy if the price goes above by 3 candles. Okay, breaks that trend line above, we want to buy. Okay, so there's a good chance that will happen, but looking at the 4 hour and daily, probably not so much. Okay, but what here, we mark this support right here where I drew this horizontal line. Okay, there was a solid resistance right here, solid support, solid resistance here, again solid support. Eventually this will break. If this support breaks on the 1 hour chart, we go back here to the 1 hour chart, if this support breaks by 3 candles, again you want to sell. Okay, and I would hold, because once this breaks, it's going to keep dropping. Okay, guaranteed. It will probably drop down to the next level of resistance or support, which would be right about here. Okay, you have a resistance here, support, and etc., etc. So it would, if it breaks here, it's going to drop down to here. Okay, and then you can close and take your profit. So either way, right now it's kind of 50-50. We don't know exactly what this AUDUSD is going to do. Okay, based on the 4-hour daily, I think it's going to keep dropping. Okay, but do not sell unless that support breaks. Okay, I want to make that very clear. Do not sell unless the support breaks, and do not buy unless that trend line breaks. Very, very simple. So as of right this moment, I would not touch it. I would not do nothing because everything's up in the air. But something's going to happen this week. Either the support's going to break or the resistance is going to break. I mean, yeah, one of the two is going to break. We don't know. So anyhow, that's my predictions for Australian dollar, US dollar. Let's move on to US dollar, Swiss franc. Okay, USD, CHF. This one is very interesting. We just see here is totally just a flat range of market. Okay, it has highs and lows. Don't be scared of this. Okay, this is actually a good thing. If you put it on a 15-minute time frame, watch this. I zoom out a little bit. You can buy and sell both. Okay, trade from arrow to arrow. Beautiful. This is a beautiful setup right here. Make profit either way on the 15-minute time frame. Okay, I really like this setup. And you're not looking for huge profits, you know, get in and get out. Look at this right here, 500 something points. This one again, 300 something points. This one here, 385 points. So we're not looking for huge profits, okay? But do these in and out every day. You look at this one here, from this arrow to this arrow. This is at about 11:45 in the morning and closed at 15:45 in the afternoon. So you're literally looking at about 4 hours. Boom, price shot in 4 hours, close your profit. Okay, so this is good because you can open and close the trade the same day and avoid any swap fees. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. If you see a flat range of market like this, you know, thank God, because this is really a good setup. You really can make a lot of quick profits in and out. Do this every single day. Okay, even if you did just one trade a day, made 300 points in one day. Okay, do that 3 times a week. You'd have 3 times 3, which is 9, right? You would have 900 points. It's almost 1,000 points in 1 week. Okay, just on one currency pair. So if all these Forex traders out there are teaching you that you need to have 5 computer monitors monitoring all these charts and all these trades, they're crazy. Okay, you can make easy, quick money with just one single chart. That's all you need, really. So anyhow, that what I would do. Okay, let's look at the higher time frames. Okay, I had a little rant there. Sorry. All right, 4-hour chart shows to go up. All right. Oops. Let me zoom in a bit. So it has not formed a red arrow. So should it be going up this week? Possibly. I don't think so. Okay. Daily chart shows to go down, and this is the problem right now. Okay. Weekly chart shows to go up. I know that. More than likely it will, but the daily chart shows to go down. And here's the dilemma. Okay. If we mark our resistance like this coming down, that is a very, very, very solid resistance, okay, on the daily chart. Also, if we look here on the 4-hour, you can see it's a little bit better. If we draw a trend line like this coming down, look at this, okay? Again, this is not perfect, but we have all these points right here that match up on this trend line, this resistance, okay? So we are looking for this to break. If this trend line breaks, it's going to go up to this trend line. So we have different levels of resistance, like in an elevator, in a hotel. Okay. Right now we're on level 1 here. We're going to go to the second level, which is here. Okay. If this one breaks, we'll go to the third level, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm just giving the idea how Forex works. Okay, so yes, we could buy this week, but we're looking for this to break. If you're on the 4-hour chart, I would wait for 2 candles to break above. If we drop down to the 1-hour chart, I would look for at least 3 candles to break above before I buy. All right, but now, like I said, we already have a red arrow here. Okay, if I zoom out a little bit so you can see this a little clearer, it looks like we're going to be dropping. Okay, so I would, again, I would not look to buy or sell right now. I would wait for this. I would give it 24 hours. Probably wait till Tuesday and see what happens. If this trend line breaks, then we can buy. Okay, more than likely, don't quote me on this, but more than likely we're going to see a continuation of this flat ranging market. Okay, that's what I think is going to happen this week. And what we can do, let me adjust my camera. What we can do is simply put on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, like I said in the beginning, we put this on a 15-minute time frame. You can trade from arrow to arrow, and right now on the 15-minute looks like a good time to sell. Okay, and price hit this, went down a little bit, came back up, hit the same resistance. Okay, I can bring this down a little bit to show you where our trend line is. Okay, readjust that, and if it breaks, like again, go to the 1-hour chart, but wait for about 3 candles on the 1-hour chart to break above before you buy. I do not think it's going to break. What I think, here's what I think, and I'm not a fortune teller, but here's what more than likely will happen. We have a solid support right here on the 1-hour chart. Okay, let me zoom out a little bit so you can see this. Okay, this is like a triangle. I can't really draw, but this is what's called a fallen wedge pattern. Okay, price is dropping, and it's going to hit this support. Okay, so what I think is going to happen is we're going to see the price drop this week. Okay, and then probably, more than likely, and again, I'm not a fortune teller, it's going to drop all the way back down to this support again. I don't think so, but there's a good chance that could happen. We had a big drop here, which was on 11th of June, 9th of June. So this was the week before. We had a big drop, right? And then it spiked back up, and then a flat ranging market. So this week I would more or less look to sell. Okay, watch the price drop. Right now is a good time to sell. Again, keep it on 15-minute chart. Watch for the both blue and red arrows. All right, you can trade from one to the other. If we mark, well, we have, I can draw a trend line. Watch this, like this. Okay, this is your support, this is your resistance. Okay, I showed this in my previous videos about finding the perfect entry, and what we want to do is wait for this resistance to break or this support to break. Either way, one of those two is going to happen this week. All right, and you probably could sell right now and catch a little bit of profit on the way down. If you look right from this point down, you're looking at almost 300 points. All right, coming down, look at that, about 300 points. So you can make a little bit of profit coming down right now, and that would be okay. And if this breaks down, you know, by 3 or 4 candles, you're on a 15-minute chart, so I'll wait 3 or 4 candles to break below, and then you can sell again. Okay, and even a 30-minute chart, if it breaks below, wait for the next blue arrow to form, and then we can, you know, see what happens there. Really catch some profit there. Also, we want to look, you know, wait for that resistance to break. If the resistance breaks and keeps going up, then we want to buy. And what's going to happen is the price will break above and then come back down, hit the support, break resistance, form a support, and then it'll keep bouncing up and then keep going all the way up like that. Okay, so right now it's kind of everything's 50-50 in the market right now. Okay, there's a lot of things happening with coronavirus, etc., etc. We know this. Okay, but well, no matter what happens with the coronavirus, the pandemic, whatever, it doesn't matter. There's cycles in the Forex market, and there's always a good time to trade the Forex market. So we just need to find our support and resistances. Moving on to US dollar, Japanese yen. We pretty much see the exact same thing. Now, the Japanese yen and the US dollar form a kind of an opposite correlation to the USD Swiss franc, but they still have a similar fashion, okay? And we see here that it was pretty much a flat range of market where the price ended lower than where it began. If we look at the 4-hour chart, we see have an up arrow, right? Price never really went up, did it? Okay, so the US dollar here in this particular currency pair is very weak. And we know the dollar has been weak anyhow. Okay, so what we can do here is we can guess the price is going to be going up. The daily chart shows to go up as well, and the weekly chart shows to go up. So yes, all things are showing to go up, but are they really going up? No. So what I think is going to happen, just based on what we see right here, is that we're going to see a continuation of this flat range of market. Okay, we shift the chart over. Look at that. So this is really a beautiful setup. Okay, do not be intimidated. All right, trade from arrow to arrow on the 15-minute time frame. I would definitely this week, the US dollar, Japanese yen, I would be trading from arrow to arrow. Okay, I feel very strongly we're going to see a continuation of this. Okay, like I said, the long-term trend is looking to go up, but is it really going to go up? It's going to take it's going to take a long time. The weekly chart, you know, it shot up on the weekly, came back down, went up, came back down. It's going to go back up again. But before it goes back up, it might drop some more. We see a support right here where we can mark. Okay, trying to see where if there's a support in the past, but there's definitely a support right here. So there's a strong chance the price could drop back down to this support and bounce off. Okay, if we go down here to the 4-hour, we see right here, okay, and we have a support right here where this blue arrow is. All right, so if this support right here breaks, it's going to drop down to this support. Okay, I hope that's clear. So what we're looking for is for this support to break and drop. And we'd have a really nice profit if that happens. Okay, have at least a 500, almost 600 point drop. So you can easily get 500 pips off of this. All right. Thing is, it's not going to happen like overnight. Okay, if it drops like that, a 500 point drop would probably be, you know, take 2 or 3 days, honestly, for that to happen. Because what's going to happen is the price is going to be bobbing up and down slowly. It's going to be a real slow downtrend. You can see the price right here. Very, very small movements this past week. Okay, this is on a 4-hour chart. With a 30-minute chart, we see this past week had very small movements. So these two currency pairs are like, okay, they're very, very, very fighting against each other. They're very strong towards one another. They're both weakened and they're both fighting to gain strength. That's all there is to it. So again, you can put it on a 15-minute time frame and trade from arrow to arrow. Right now, looks like a good time to buy. We have a blue arrow here and then another blue arrow, but no red arrow. Okay, so right now we could buy and wait for the next red arrow and sell. So all you got to do is just keep it on a 15-minute time frame and trade from arrow to arrow. This particular pair, I think, is going to continue in a flat ranging market, and it might drop down to this trend line. We don't know. Okay, just keep an eye on that, but definitely want to trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, make it very, very simple. Okay, it's really a beautiful setup. Moving on to US dollar, Canadian dollar. Again, we see kind of the same thing. All right, US dollar has pretty much stalled out across the board. Okay, is it going to gain strength this week? We don't know, but it could, but I don't think so. All right, now let's look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart shows to go up, right? And it has been slowly going up, but the daily and the weekly still show to go down. Okay, we've been showing this for a long time. If you look here on the weekly chart, we see that we have a pretty solid resistance right there. Okay, and look on the 4-hour chart, we still show the same thing. Okay, oh, that's the daily rather. 4-hour chart, you still see the same thing. Okay, and now look here in the 4-hour chart, we have an up arrow. So what we can expect is for the price to continue up this week, possibly. Here's another resistance right here. I don't know why I just did that, but we have another resistance right here, and then we have a resistance here. Okay, actually, you know what, let me delete this and draw your fresh line, like a fresh can of tuna. There we go. That's what we're looking for. And the price is more than likely going to ride sideways and touch that trend line. Okay, go sideways, touch that trend line. That's what I think is going to happen this week. Okay, if you look here on the 1-hour chart, even the 30-minute, we're looking at pretty much a flat ranging market. Okay, we should see a continuation of that flat ranging market going towards this trend line here. Okay, and if we look here, look at this. I know this is not 100% accurate, but we have a support right here, and this is our uptrend. So more than likely we'll see the price drop here, hit the support, and bounce off and keep going up. All right, again, we can trade on the 15-minute time frame from arrow to arrow, but just keep an eye on this support, keep an eye on this resistance. Okay, you can sell right now and close your profit when you hit the next blue arrow. Okay, we're not looking for huge profits. Look at this one, that's about 400 points drop. So even if you get, say, 300 points, that's perfect. Wait for the next blue arrow and then buy again. Okay, and catch another 300 on the way back up. All right, that is what I think is going to happen this week. We see here blue arrow here, blue arrow here, blue arrow here. Like all these blue arrows are a little bit higher than the previous. Okay, so we see like a slight uptrend here with the blue arrows. So I think we're going to see an overall we're going to see an uptrend next week for the US dollar, Canadian dollar. Okay, that's my best guess. But you can still trade from arrow to arrow. Okay, using a 15-minute time frame. All right. So anyhow, that concludes my weekly trade predictions. Please let me know if you have any questions at all about any of these currency pairs. I'll be more than happy to help you. Also, if you have another currency pair, I know there's hundreds of them. If you have any other currency pair that you want me to examine, please hit me up on Facebook and let me know. I'll be glad to help you. Okay? There is a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Please contact me there first. Also, there's a link for my private Facebook group, and you can request to join my Facebook group and post any questions or comments in my Facebook group. That's simple, okay? That way myself or other traders, we can all collaborate together, and we can work together as a team, okay? That's what my whole focus, my whole goal by having this Facebook group. We can all collaborate together, okay? We can learn from one another. So anyhow, thank you for your time. Please let me know how I can help you. Have a wonderful week.